Today we're recapping the NBA so far, and we're also giving a little bit of predictions for the NBA Cup playoffs. Let's go. What's good, everyone? Welcome back. It's Zack here. We're breaking down the NBA season so far. A little recap of this last week, and then we're gonna get into some of the leaders. Gonna go over points, rebounds, threes made. I like to keep a little update on who's actually cooking this season. And then towards the end, that's when we're getting into the big part, which is the NBA Cup. And as you may or may not know, the NBA Cup, we finished the group stage. I gave my predictions before the group stage started. I was decent, honestly, but going into the playoffs, I'm going to relook at some of these matchups. See, we're going to go through, give my predictions for the playoffs, I guess, as well for the NBA Cups. So we're just going to run through the NBA standings real quick. We're going to start out east, and the Cavs actually still remain in first. They played the Celtics just recently, and the Celtics blew, I think it was a 12-point lead going into the fourth. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. Celtics lose. Other than that, though, the other team that I'm really looking at that has been really hot recently, oh my gosh, I'm just seeing the Wizards have lost 16 games in a row. Oh my gosh. But no, the Bucks. The Bucks and the Hawks are two teams that I've seen kind of ascend recently. And I think the Hawks actually just beat the Bucks 2 nights ago, I think. So that was kind of how the Bucks have gone from this win streak to the losing streak. But they've been impressive, and the Hawks really have been impressive. They sit in 6th right now. They're basically in this 6-way tie for 500 in the East. But other than that, I really like what I've seen from them. Trae Young has really made it a point that he doesn't care to score. He is going to facilitate. He's rebounding the ball at an excellent rate too. And then for the Bucks, Chris Middleton's coming back too. So starting to figure things out just a little bit. Their last 10, they're 8-2. And I really liked how they played so far. So those are two teams that kind of stuck out in the East for me. Then we move to the West, the Western Conference. Teams that are sticking out, much like the Bucks, we have seen the Mavericks pick it up recently. They've won 6 in a row. I've liked what I've seen from them. I know they've had a little bit of injuries still throughout the season, but I do like that. And somehow the Thunder just continue to top the West by a lot. The Rockets have flown into 2nd in the West as well, even though they've lost 2 in a row. And other than that, you just have the tanking Jazz who are just, they're trying to get that top pick. But, other than that, disappointments, you still have the Timberwolves pretty low. The Nuggets are also a team that's been pretty hot recently, too. They did just lose to the Cavs. But other than that, it's been pretty similar. I have somehow liked the way the Grizzlies have been playing, even with this weird team that doesn't seem like they're going to do much. Kings have moved Malik Monk to the starting lineup to switch something up because they're sitting in 12th place right now. And it's not looking great with DeRozan right now, so hope they can figure something out. But yeah, the Thunder still top the West, so they're going to be pretty tough to beat. Now moving into the leaders in the stat categories, we're going to go through points, rebounds, assists, and three-pointers made. There's been a little bit of changes. Anthony Davis hasn't really kept up in his points and rebounds, so he's kind of fallen off the list. But we're starting. Giannis is 1 at 32.6, LaMelo at 31.1, Jokic 29.9 a game, Shea 29.8 a game, and then Luka 28.6. Sticking out for me personally, Jokic has just been doing it all. And I'm going to read him on rebounds and assists as well, but Jokic has just been the engine, the motor. He's getting the Nuggets kind of back into sync, really, you could say. I love Westbrook actually off the benches, looked pretty nice too. They're still trying to figure out who's going to be that guy, like Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Julian Strawther. So they're kind of figuring out, but I really like what Jokic has been doing, just really putting it on himself. In rebounding, we got Jokic at 13.4, Towns at 13.2, Sabonis 12.6, Zubac at 12.2, then Pirtle at 11.8. Two stick out. Jokic, obviously, he's in another category. He's leading the way. He's literally averaging a triple-double this season. So besides him, Towns has really made it an effort to get on the glass. Something he did early in his career, he kind of fall off a little bit with Gobert, which, I get it. Towns I'm going to be lazy and not rebound that much. But also, Jakob Poeltl for Toronto has been a machine, not just on rebounds, but he has been a PRA, points, rebounds, assists monster. So I really like what I've seen from him. He's kind of keeping up, and his career hasn't really fallen off. So it's kind of cool to see him still playing and balling out. Assists, we got Trae Young at 12 a game, blowing out Jokic at 10.4, Cade 9.1, LeBron at 9, and then Harden at 8.5. Sticking out, like I mentioned, Trae Young, he is just facilitating. He is deliberately breaking down a defense so he can throw a lob to Capella or Jalen Johnson rim running. He has done so well at just maneuvering through defenses. He doesn't care to score. I don't really know if he still can score, if I'm being honest. I don't really see the flashes anymore, but I like what I've seen from him. And then Jokic obviously averaging a triple-O right now is pretty freaking crazy. And then Cade Cunningham, oh my gosh. Can we talk about Cade for a second, actually? Because I saw him just knifing through the Celtics defense the other night. And I mean, this kid, I really love what I've seen from him in the past. And I think this is his ascension year. I think it's time to like actually hold that stock in because he has been really solid this season. I see him doing the same thing. He will knife through the defenses on the pick and roll. He'll snake it. He'll get by the guy, and he'll just leave this dump-off pass to Durant or Isaiah Stewart, or he'll kick to the corner for Malik Beasley. Like, it's been really good, so I really like what I've seen from Cade. Last category, got three-pointers made. Ant Edwards still leading the way at 94. Tyler Hero at 86. Malik Beasley, 85. LaMelo, 84. And then Mitchell at 84. And then, this is crazy, because the next three, Tatum, Pritchard at 83, right there, and then Derek White at 80. So 3 Celtics are right there to crack the top 5. Somehow, Ant Edwards, I mean, he's really made it a focal point to shoot the 3 this season, and it's not that he's shooting at a bad rate. It's just kind of crazy to see his like efficiency up there and him really leading the NBA in three-pointers made. Also, solid player last year from 3. He was literally in the three-point contest, but shout out Malik Beasley, still making a name for himself on a pretty crowded Detroit Pistons team. Like, you got Tim Hardaway, Malik, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Simone Fontecchio. Like, you have a lot of guys that can shoot the ball, and he's really solidified a spot for himself. So good for him. Also, 6th man of the year, Peyton Pritchard. All right, we're moving on to the NBA Emirates Cup. The group play just finished. I'm gonna read through the group play, the final standings. We're going to go in, take a look at the bracket, and then I'll give my kind of predictions, breakdowns of all the games, and kind of see where we're going, because I'm kind of excited. There's some pretty good matchups. We got basically all the teams I think I wanted, except for, like, the Rockets, I would say. I wish someone else got in over than the Rockets, but they earned their way in for sure. So here we go. West Group A, which was the wild group of death. Didn't finish, like, anywhere I thought it would. The Rockets went 3-1. The Clippers, Timberwolves, and Blazers finished 2-2. The Kings were 1-3 and really struggled. The Rockets just blew, like, their point differential was 46. They really played very well in this group. The Clippers didn't play well. I didn't think the Timberwolves would do that great. The Kings not playing well really is what surprised me in this. But like I said, the Rockets won the group and they earned that spot in the playoffs for sure. Next up, you got the crazy group that I was like, anyone but Utah could honestly take this group. Thunder finished 3-1. They won the group. Point differential was the big one here. The Suns 3-1 as well, but they had 15 less points. The Lakers point differential got sloshed, like -24, but they finished 2-2 anyways. The Spurs also finished 2-2. Jazz 0-4. But yeah, the Thunder, even without Chet, like the way that they play, their style of play is just so like, not like bad boy Detroit Pistons, but it's kind of like a San Antonio, like, we're just going to grind this game down, but we also have this superstar that can just cook anyone in the NBA. Shea has also made it focal point to be like, if you leave me open, I'm going to hit that little step-back move. He loves that side spin and just hit that 3 on you. So he's been very good. I think the Suns probably would have won this group if they were, like, fully healthy, but the Thunder earned it for sure. Next up, Group C in the West. I called this one. Luckily, I got one of them right. But it was the Warriors. The Warriors finishing 3-1. Point differential was actually really close, but they beat the Mavs off of a tiebreaker for first in the group. Mavericks do get in with the, oh my gosh, what's the word? They got in on the next spot into the actual playoffs because of their point differential and record. They did also finish 3-1 with a point differential at 46. So it was a lot. The Nuggets 2-2, Grizzlies 1-3, Pelicans 1-3. I don't think anyone was really looking at those ones, but Nuggets just couldn't make that surge to get in. So I'm excited because that sets up a Thunder Mavericks and then Rockets Warriors, which we'll break down in just a second after I go through the East groups. But yeah, the West group was pretty exciting. I think it was almost how I thought it'd figure out. Beside that group of death, Group A was freaking weird. But East Group A, exactly how I thought I finished. Only 2 teams went 4-0, and one of them was the New York Knicks, and this was the group I thought. It's either they lose to the Magic and they don't get in, or they beat the Magic and they get in. That's exactly what happened. They finished with a 30-point differential, 4-0. The Magic finished 3-1. They also get the at-large berth in at point differential 45. They got 3-1, and this group was, I mean, you had the 76ers 2-2, the Nets at 1-3, and the Hornets at 0-4. The Hornets have really just like just imploded off of just injuries, and it's happening again. So it's kind of sad in Charlotte, but no, the Knicks just blew this group out for real. Then a freaking weird group here because the Pacers finished 0-4 in Group B. Raptors 1-3, Heat 2-2. The Pistons, who I really wanted to get in, finished 3-1. They just didn't get in on point differential because the Magic had a huge point differential. But the Bucks go 4-0, big point differential. This is kind of where they got hot as well. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bucks have been playing really well. They're getting Chris Middleton back. They're going to have him tonight against Boston, actually. I probably play like 20 minutes, but still, I mean, that's gonna be an exciting game tonight. And I mean, to have him back for the rest of the season, really, he's that piece they definitely need. They need something else, and hopefully they can figure out defensively too, because they have looked like hot garbage on defense. But Bucks 4-0 is not the toughest group, but like pretty impressive for them still. And then finally, sadly, Group C, because the Celtics blew this group, that lost to the Hawks, came back to bite them. Because the Hawks ended up winning this group 3-1. The Celtics did finish 3-1, but since the Hawks beat them, they beat the tiebreaker. Then the Celtics needed to beat the Magic's point differential, but they lost by like 20 in the point differential. They were playing the Bulls, and the Bulls just kept keeping it close, even though they were basically done. They couldn't get in. So the Cavs finished 2-2, Bulls 2-2, Wizards, we don't even talk about them. The Wizards had a negative 74 point differential. That's freaking crazy, guys. What was going on in Washington, man? Free my boy Bilal Coulibaly, but yeah. Hawks win the group, and so the East sets up as we got the Knicks going to be taking on the Hawks. Amazing, because Trae Young is going to MSG, and then you get the Bucks taking on the Magic, which should be also a pretty good game because the Magic's defense, the Bucks' hot offense but horrible defense. It's like literally contrasting styles, so it's pretty exciting out East too. All right, finally, the moment, the Emirates bracket. It's set up like this. You had the three teams, one from each group, get in, and then you had that fourth. So you're going to have basically this one game. You're going to get into the semifinals in Vegas, and then you got the championship as well. So I'm pretty excited. I think this is going to be really good. And the first one being like a home and away thing, like, it's kind of interesting. I wish they would just do all the games, honestly, in Vegas. I think that's where the neutral court would be kind of dope. But first up, out East, you got the number 1 Bucks taking on the 4-seeded Magic. Magic are going to have to go into Milwaukee. I think that's always kind of a pretty tough place to play because if Bobby gets anything going, that crowd is going to go crazy. These teams haven't played the season, so we don't have much to go off of, especially with no Paolo and then Middleton coming back. So it's literally going to be almost like brand new. The Magic have been rolling a lot of Bitadze. I don't even know that's how you say it. Who else? There's someone else. KCP, I called KCP out the other week, and he has gone on like a rager. Like I think he hit like 4 threes, then 3, then 3, then 2 or something. Like he was on a scorcher recently. So, okay, KCP, I see you listening to the pod, but no, this should be an interesting one. The Bucks have been playing a lot better, but the Magic's still like one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. Franz has been sensational, lights out. You got Suggs playing well, Anthony Black. This should be a very interesting game, I think. Honestly, I would, maybe like a week ago, or 2 weeks and a half or something, I think I would have picked the Magic to win this game. But I think right now, I think Milwaukee's hot, and I think they actually are going to care for this. Middleton will have a little bit of a ramp up. I think he still probably will only play like 20, 25 minutes in this one. But I do think the Bucks are going to take this one. I don't think the Magic will have quite the answer. I think it will actually come down to the guard play. It's going to be like the Suggs versus Dame thing, like who can actually lead their team, I think. And I think Dame's going to show out, so I think the Bucks will take this one. Next up, the 2-seeded Knicks take on the 3-seed, the Hawks. This one is going to be in MSG, as I mentioned. And actually, early in the season at Atlanta, they played. The Hawks won 121-116. Towns went crazy, though. Towns had 34 and 16. He was nuts. But the craziest thing, that's not even the craziest thing, because Zachary Richeche, the rookie, had 33. Like, he dropped 33 on the Knicks, and that was, like, the difference. Like, I don't think he overcome that because it was just an interesting game because of that. Now, you're going to have the Trae Young aspect here with the villain mode, the story, the taking the bows and MSG. Like, you know he's mean-mugging against these guys, and he's bringing his game. But I honestly think the Knicks are going to crap all over. Like they're gonna put the Hawks down. Honestly, I think the Knicks might blow them out by 20 in this one. I could see it being close. I do like the way the Hawks have been playing a lot, but I think the Knicks at MSG are gonna have a statement win here, and it's gonna set up a pretty nice Bucks and Knicks Eastern Conference, Emirates Conference Cup semifinal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Another kind of interesting game as we go out west. We got the 1-seeded Thunder against the 4-seeded Mavericks. And this is a weird one because the Mavericks didn't have Luka when they played earlier this season. Thunder didn't have Chet. PJ had the freaking game of his career with 27 and 17. Like, what a game. And then the bench was big too for Dallas. I think 4 players had double figures. And you see the Thunder with, it's like Shea and J-Dub. Shea had like 36 or something. J-Dub had 27. And like, I don't think that's going to get it done against Dallas. With Luka coming back now, he was hurt. He should be able to ramp up for this game as well. He just played last night. He should get another game in before this. And I think Dallas, I think it's the healthier squad, and I think as long as Dallas keeps that momentum into this one with Clay and Kyrie, I don't think Thunder will have a chance. And I hope this is a Western Conference playoff preview. This is the matchup I want to see. I want to see how the Thunder can match up with adding Klay Thompson to the mix, and if the Thunder can have enough scoring power to actually keep up with what Dallas wants to do. So it's going to be very interesting, and I think Luke is going to be the key here to be able to play make and break down the OKC defense to find Clay and Kyrie and the bigs on the rolls, and I think the Mavericks also get this one done. And then finally, the 2-seeded Rockets are going to take on the 3-seeded Warriors. They've already played twice. They literally just played, but my big thing is Curry has not played both games this season, and the Warriors won both games. Now, last night, I think Curry could have played, but it was like a rest management thing. Honestly, rest management. I think the tactic is we know the cup game is coming up against the Rockets, so let's not play Steph Curry. So the Rockets have no film, no nothing on what we're trying to run with this 12-man rotation that we're doing with Curry. His playmaking is going to be really big in this one. And I think that even though they played both times and was without Curry, and you're like, sometimes if you add a different thing in there, it might be different, but the first time Buddy Hield lit them up. Last night, Jonathan Kuminga and Wiggins could not be stopped. Şengün has not really been a big factor, which I think bigs against Golden State have to play big. They have to play up to their size and not down to the opponents. You see a lot of players play like this, and I think they played tonight actually with the Timberwolves. So we're going to see Gobert and Draymond probably go crazy, but I think Şengün is going to be pretty big for the Rockets if they want to actually have a great game against Golden State. I think he's got to be bully ball. He's got to be able to facilitate. Jalen Green's going to have to play big as well. But I think the Warriors got this one too. I don't think the home-away thing matters much because I think Golden State is going to come into this wanting to win. They care this season. They got players that are actively trying to win. So I think Golden State is actually going to take this one. So that would set up a Bucks and Knicks semi out east, and it would be in Vegas. And this one is interesting because they played early in the season, like really early in the season, and the Knicks blew them out. The Bucks looked horrible. Dame was not great. Giannis was not great. And I think Towns was big again. He had 30, and he had another double-double. He was huge. No one else really shined out, but I think they had like 6 or 7 players in double figures for New York. This one was basically kind of over at halftime, the vibes. Like they were up like, I think it was almost 20 at the half, and it was just like, wave the white flag, like we're done. Let's call it. But honestly, this one should be very interesting too. I think the Bucks have been really hot. And as much as I'm not like a big fan of the Bucks, I love Dame, like Giannis I don't know. I think that the Bucks going into this hot could be the difference. New York has been really great too. And I think a neutral site will be kind of big in this one too. I think if either team was at their home court, I think they would win, honestly. But this one being neutral is going to be pretty crazy. I think in Vegas, I'm just excited. I think Jalen Brunson's going to have a game against the Bucks, and I don't know. I think I just want the Knicks to win. So we're going to say the Knicks win. I think Jalen Brunson, I don't know. I just think Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are going to get it done. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Bucks go through and just wipe this whole NBA Cup because I think they're kind of on a mission right now. But I think Jalen Brunson's going to have himself a game against them, and the Knicks are going to win. Now, the West Final is going to be the Mavericks and the Warriors. I'm going to have to freaking fly to Vegas to go see these because we already had the game of the year, Mavericks and Warriors, when Steph had 37. He had the last 12. He hits the night-night on them. it was the return of Clay to the Bay. Like, it was the game of the year so far, I think. And we're gonna get it again in an NBA Cup setting. This is what I'm hoping for. So I think the Warriors, it's going to be really interesting because you see a round 2 and I think you're going to see the same things. I think it's going to look like Dallas is going to be able to handle them. Golden State's going to keep pace with it. And I just think that Steph's going to do it again. I think he's going to have enough firepower. I think he's going to be able to play even better for some reason. I watched the whole game, and Steph was he was kind of off. He's missing a lot of short shots, a lot of those little floater finger rolls that he usually hits over anyone. He was missing easy buckets around the rim, but obviously he still finished with an insane game. But that's because he's Steph. The last 12 points for them is crazy. Big thing, I think Kyrie needs to be bigger in this game. If the Mavericks are going to have a chance to win, I think Kyrie's got to be the one. Clay's going to get his threes in. Luka's going to do him. But I think this one's more of it's Luka, Clay, the 1A, 1B. And I think Kyrie has to be that big one, that big piece that comes and just kind of gets them stuck when they're in the mud a little bit with the Warriors' deep rotation. So this is going to be a sensational game, I think. It's going to be a repeat of how great it was before. And I think I just want Golden State to win this one. Even though I think the Mavericks are going to go pretty deep in the NBA playoffs, I think the Warriors care. I think they got this one. That sets up a honestly wild game. You got the defensive-minded Knicks against the offensive fire 12-man rotation of the Golden State Warriors. Curry, Brunson, Healed, Anunoby, Bridges, you got Draymond, Wiggins. This is going to be a fire-loaded matchup. If this is what I think happens for the title, and this is what actually goes down, it'll be interesting. I think this is a stylistic game where Towns could really benefit from having to stretch those bigs out. So Towns could have a very big game, and I think he would probably be the biggest factor in this game as well. If Towns is hitting, Towns is punishing them in the paint. You've seen him go for 35 and 16 and 30 and 12. If he does the same thing against Golden State, I think it's night-night for the Warriors. I don't think they can keep up with that stylistically because the wing defense, even though the Warriors are going to be rotating a lot of these guys in, I think in a championship-style game like this, the rotation's got to be a little bit shorter. You might still get those guys in, but the minutes will be a little logged back because you're going to want Steph. You're going to want Wiggins, Draymond. You're going to need Heal to get some shots in as well. Pods will probably play a pretty big part in defense. So the rotation could be a little shortened here, but overall, this is a wild game. And I actually think the Knicks will take this game. I think the style of the Knicks kind of limits what the Warriors want to do. If the Warriors can get out and run and shoot and just blitz the Knicks, I think they'll win, but I think the overpowering nature of the Knicks, I think they'll be able to take this one. So that's the NBA Emirates Cup for me. It's kind of interesting. It's just for fun. It's just my little predictions. You guys know. But I think the Mavericks could also have a shot of getting in. If I had to power rank that, I think the Mavericks have a great path. If the Mavericks get the Rockets, I think it's over for them for sure. I think the Mavericks will go through. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited for the NBA Cup, Emirates. Might fly out to Vegas. We'll see what's going down. But yeah, thanks for checking out today. Let me know what you guys think about the NBA season, MVP picks, anything like that. We'll kind of have a mid-season NBA awards coming up. But yeah, thanks for checking out. We'll see you guys on the next one.